Hi, good evening, all of you guys. Hope all of you can hear me. Yeah, guys, can I please?
Yes, sir.
Right. Thank you, guys. Just a second. Right. So, guys, hope all of you can hear me. Right. Yeah. Yes. Thank you. So, guys, in the last two sessions, we have been taken some introduction part of what is Power BI. I have been got discussed about that. Just I told you, I think so. It is not that much explanation is required. Why? Because everybody knows about that. So what is Power BI and why do you require a Power BI? It's basically a data visualization tool, actually, guys. A GUI-based data visualization tool. What we can do, actually, guys, what we can do, we can connect whatever the data that is there in our text format or a value format, whatever the data was there, you can convert into the visual context. So why? Because I told you about that. Visually, human brains also can understand the data visually very easily. And even the data that can be interpreted by our human brains is also visually they can process it faster than the values. So that is also one reason. There is going to be some kind of a biological reason, like how the human brains will identify the images or pictures better than the whenever we see the data in a normal view. So human brains can faster process that particular the images basically. So visually, the human brains can understand the data easily. That is also one of the reason why the data visualization plays a very important role. So slowly I have been started. Actually, I didn't started with any implementation also. Guys, just one more small question. I think some guys has been joined for the today's class. Today is your first class. Please let me know. Anyone is there who has been joined for the today's class? Yes, Kalyan Kiran Kumar, right?
Yeah, okay.
Okay. So that I can just explain, guys. So nothing has been happened. Just it is only 2 introduction classes we have been got taken. Anyhow, my backend team will going to share you the recordings also. We'll share the recordings of the last 2 classes. This Thursday and Friday. Saturday we didn't have the session actually due to the Shivaratri. I didn't conducted the session on Saturday, and today is the 3rd session actually, guys. And we have a plan for today. So we are going to start with some database concepts. Which needs to be everybody has to understand that because without having the concept of databases, the points are going to be gets unconnected in Power BI. So that is the reason everybody has to learn some basic concepts of a databases. Even not only with respect to the Power BI, even in real application when you work on the Power BI or when you're working with the data, some basic concepts are going to be gets required actually. So not too much topics we are going to be going in deep into them. Just a little bit idea like how we are going to be gets working. We are going to be having a look into that actually. Right. So I just started with Power BI. So I told you not to install the Power BI also. Don't install it. In my system, it was already installed. That means just slowly I'm updating the what is going to be the features that are providing. Once again, we'll have a look into all these particular features also in the later applications. So we are learning a skill called as a data visualization, guys. We are not learning anything like Power BI. Don't limit your knowledge. Okay, don't limit your knowledge that I have known Power BI. We are learning a skill called as data visualization skill. So whether you do it by using by Power BI or a Tableau or a QuickView, or whether it is a scripting or any Python libraries, it does not matter. We are learning what is an importance of data visualization, what are the different types of visual skills we have to require, and basically the terminologies. So in data visualization, what are the terminologies that we have to learn it actually? So what is a scatter plot? What is a line plot? You can see it actually, guys. So don't install it. You can install it. It's not a matter. I'll tell you. So whenever we install the Power BI desktop here, don't worry, guys. I'm not starting with anything about the Power BI. So here we can see some kind of an data visualization objects. We can see it actually. So what are these actually? This is a bar chart, a stacked bar chart. This is a column chart. What is a bar chart? What is a column chart? Okay, what is going to be clustered? There is going to be again the same clustered bar chart is there. We are going to be having a clustered column chart is there. 100% stacked bar chart is there. 100% trusted column chart is going to be there. So what is the difference? Line charts, it's an area charts. It is going to be, can you see that stacked area charts, what we can see. This is going to be line and stacked column charts. So this, we can see some kind of an options. Okay, we can see something like a tables, we can find it off here now. This is going to be what we are going to call it as a matrix. What is that? What is a pie chart? What is a donut chart? It is going to be. We'll see them actually, guys. So we have to understand the terminologies, like which type of plotting is used for what purpose actually. What kind of a data can be visualized. So every data cannot be visualized with the every type of the visual, every type of the plot or every type of visual. So different datas are going to be visualized in a different what are the different types we are going to be having it actually. We'll see them actually, guys. Okay. So anyhow, just a small 5-10 minutes. I'll just discuss about Power BI. So I told you guys, Power BI is going to be Edge UI based. It is completely Edge UI based, which is going to be a data visualization tool. It's a completely Edge UI based drag and drop. Mostly we are going to use the mouse. So while I'm giving the notes, if you are writing the notes or I'm giving the notes or sharing the notes, so the notes is going to be like this actually, guys. So go to that particular file menu or go to the insert menu. Okay, click on this, click on the add column, select this option, right click on this. This kind of a navigations will be there. We learn only the navigations only. GUI based options are like that only, guys. Scripting based, if you're writing the code, there is going to be something different. We can share the code. Here, nothing will be there. It is only just the navigational part. So how do you get the navigational part? How do you get a practice on that? How do you understand that? How do you remember that? Only by practice. Only by practice. Scripting based is different case actually, guys. Scripting based, even if you don't practice now, after some 10 days or after 1 month, if you open the notes, at least you can understand that particular scripts. But navigational, it is not like that. Day-to-day practice is required. Only practice, guys. No logic is some logic is necessary. Without having any knowledge, without having any logical knowledge, we cannot go for some, but not like a programmatical part. No writing of any programs. A small scripts you may write it actually, but that is not an use scripting or any logics. We don't write. Data visualization itself is converting all the data into a visual format. So everything is going to be done by drag and drop options only, guys. We don't write any code for that. We don't require any much programmatical skills are not going to be required. So I'm just showing you, like in the last class, I shown you, like I connected to one database. I connected to a CSV file. I can connect to some JSON file, or I can connect to one XML file. You can connect to almost all different sources. So connect to the data, whatever the data you want to visualize, import it, and then we have to visualize that particular data. So don't worry, guys, because if anybody may thinks that something has been already started. I'm not starting with Power BI. Power BI will start it in the next week, guys. Next week, we are going to start with the Power BI. Just today, it's only just an idea. I'm just telling you that what features it is going to provide actually. So once again, guys, I'm just connecting some data. So you can see this is going to be when I open the Power BI screen, it is going to be the actual, whatever the page that is going to be gets coming actually. Don't worry about anything. So these are going to be, I'll tell you, you already know what are Excel workbooks, okay, Excel sheets, JSON files. You can also work with some kind of an data, SQL server databases, or we can work with some kind of a blank queries. What are Power BI data sets? So many are there actually, guys. I'll show you some different products are there from Power BI. I'll show you a different products also. I'll show you with that. For the timing, I'm connecting with a small text file or a CSV file. I'm connecting actually, guys. So I'll share you these data sets later. Right now, it is not required. Just it is going to be, because I told you now, I work on data science and data analysis. So I have a lot of data with me. So it's all public data sets, what we can see that. So this is the data what I have been loaded in the last class. I have been loaded it actually, guys. So just to show you one small feature actually, guys, just to show you one small feature. So Okay, so you can see guys, there is some data has been got loaded. Don't worry about the data set. It is going to be some data which was related to some user cars data set actually. If you want, I'll show you the data. Don't worry. This is the data actually, guys. This is the data. Can you see? It is going to be the data related to some user cars, the cars which has been already used. So what is the year of manufacturing? And what is the model of the car? What is the price of the car? What is the mileage? What is the color of the cars? And what is the transmission, like auto transmission, manual transmission? Colors like yellow, gray, silver, blue, gray, etc., etc. What is the mileage? Mileage is how many miles it was already used. What is the price? You can use the price actually, guys. And there are different types of models are there, like SC models, SEL models. Okay, this is the data. We didn't create it any manually, guys. We imported, we downloaded from some online resources. We have a different types of online resources. So as a data analyst and data scientist, I import the data from different public data sets. We have an, if you want to get any real data sets actually, guys, we have them. We have them actually. If you also want some data sets, I can share you the data sets. Okay. So this is the data what we are having it actually, guys. Okay. Now see, guys, just one of the feature which most of you does not going to tell you about that. I'm revealing it actually, guys. Why? Because if I reveal this feature, the first doubt that comes to your mind is, then sir, why I have to learn business? Why I have to learn Power BI? First of all, why I have to learn Power BI? Why? Because it is, everything is going to be nowadays. You have got, you know the concept. AI has been came into the picture. Driverless car was there. So one of example I can tell you, driverless cars. So the companies like Tesla or some other company, even they have been developed a driverless car. You know what is a driverless cars actually? Without having any human, without knowing anything about driving also, we can drive, we can just go in the car. It's an automatic, it's an automatic driver. It is going to be there. Even if it is an automated or even it's a driverless car also, sometimes there must be some human, has to interact with that actually, because there is no guarantee that 100% it is going to be 100% it is accurate. So it is going to cost the life of a person actually. It is not a cost of a money, it is the life of a person actually. So if anything goes wrong, it may be either the person in the car is going to be gets die, or there may be human on the road, or it may be some other person on the road, he may be dying. So even if it is AI is 100%, AI is 100%, even it was implemented also, still there must be some human interaction must be there, but he need not to be an expertise in that. He need not to be an expertise in that. Okay, and nowadays, even you have seen one of the success story we are talking about that, Chat GPT. So hope you all of you guys has been started using the Chat GPT. So Chat GPT is one of the success story of AI. It's a language model. Just like human interaction can be gets done actually. So even sometimes I also uses, I'm also going to use as a Chat GPT. I moved from Google search to Chat GPT, guys. If anything I want to explain you, I'll always go to Chat GPT to explain you the application. Previously, I used to use Google search. So whenever I want to explain any topic, I'll used to go to the Google search and do it actually. But now I'm going for the Chat GPT. So Chat GPT, you can start using, guys. Everybody, just with nothing is required. Just log into the Chat GPT with your Gmail account, and you can start chatting. You can just start chatting with that particular Chat GPT. It is a completely an AI powered language model. It can understand the human language. It can understand the human language. Even in the Power BI also, guys, it is going to be, there is an AI is there. So many people does not reveals that. Why? Because this, if I reveal that AI is supported, you obviously you get something in your mind is, then why a particular company requires a BI developers? BI developers, we have a lot of requirements. Okay, I'll show you that. Just nothing is there, guys. So just example, you don't know anything about how to develop a chart. I imported a data set called as an usercars.csv file. Just an example. For this particular model, I just want to know how many cars are there in each and every model. I want to know about that. So SC model, how many cars are there? SEL model, how many cars are there? and SES model, how many cars are there. So for each model of the car, how many cars are there, I want to develop a report. So see guys, previously I have been selected one visual from here and then I plotted it. Now I'm not doing anything actually guys. I'm not doing anything I'm not doing anything here actually guys. Okay, so don't worry about that. I just double clicked here actually guys. I just double clicked. Okay, I just double clicked here actually guys. This is canvas. I'll talk about the terminology later. I just double clicked on the canvas. So see, there is going to be some kind of a question and answers are going to be gets coming actually guys. Previously we type in Google search. We know that no guys, we already type something. Otherwise I'll do one thing. I'll open a new page. I'll open a new page actually guys. Can you see? So in Google search, whenever we want to type a question, already there are previously typed questions will be coming. So simply you can see that this is going to be what we can say that. So whatever the plot you require, see, it's a purely language models actually guys. Even Microsoft also has been came up with a language model as a competitor with the ChatGPT. But I think you have seen some news about the Microsoft ChatGPT. So it is scolding the users. It is scolding the users actually, guys. So recently we have seen some kind of a news related to that. So it is also language model. Nowadays, Microsoft also will implement all the language models into their applications actually. So see, ask a question about your data. I want to develop, for example, I want to develop a bar chart. Okay. So simply it is going to be, I said, which is going to be cars, which is going to be model count with a bar chart. Just an example, observe carefully guys. I didn't return anything actually guys. Simply cars model count with a bar chart actually. Okay. So, or I can say cars model wise. Just only thing is it cannot understand the language, but it can do it actually guys. Or we can see which is going to be cars model or model wise, what is going to be the cars, which is going to be bar plot, whatever it may be. Just it may not be 100% accurate. It is developing a report, but later we'll see that application actually. So see, I didn't done anything actually guys. I didn't done anything actually. Automatically a bar chart has been got created actually. One bar chart has been created. Don't worry about that. It is going to be something it has been got done. You can just you can make some modifications. We can do it actually. So you can just, that means without doing any manual work, actually guys, I have been plotted this particular data actually. So total price and total mileage, it is giving some suggestions actually. See, it is an A based application actually guys. It is going to be A based application. What we can see that how many models of cars are there? There are 3 models of cars are there actually guys. There are 3 models of cars are there. What are those particular 3 models of cars? We have seen now. SE, SEL and SES models, what we can see that. I'm not using any of the option actually guys. Just double click on that and automatically we are going to be getting some options. Using that we can work with this kind of an applications actually. So it is going to be some user car sorted by the price. Automatically the data is going to be gets coming actually. I didn't return any code at all. Automatically, according to the price, the data was automatically got sorted actually. So see, so this is going to be an AI powered business intelligence application actually. So these are the features. So obviously we'll get it out. Sir, in the case if everything is done by itself only, then what is our role actually? It cannot develop 100% accurately as much the clients requires. There must be some kind of an human. Actually, the human has to interact with that. Unless and until it does not becomes, but it is a simple, which is going to be a simple way to develop this kind of a reports actually. That is what the main the features which nowadays almost all data visualization tools are providing actually. AI was integrated, itself will develop the reports, but whenever it is a complicated one, the AI also can't generate it actually. Then human interaction is going to be required actually guys. Okay. So just I'm telling about some of the features. So don't worry about all those things. Okay. Just let me show you once. Even I maybe have been developed some kind of an reports. So which we can see. Just double click on this canvas. Nothing feature is required. Nothing feature is going to be required. You can ask what is going to be a scatter plot with which is going to be price comma mileage. That's it. Automatically it is going to develop it actually. It is developing it actually, guys. That's it. But it has been developed by calculating the sum. I have to make a small changes. Just nothing is there. I have to just make some small changes. Once if we make the changes, automatically it is going to becomes this. Even I didn't done any drag and drop option also. In last class, same example, if I want to do it manually, I can do it manually also. So take a scatter plot here now. There is a scatter plot. So drag and drop it here. And I have to, I told you, which is going to be drag and drop the price in the x-axis and price drag and drop the mileage on the y-axis. You want to drag and drop the y-axis actually. And remove the aggregation. Don't summarize it. Then it is going to be the report line. Same report, same application as it is. Manually, I have drag and drop. Here it is done by the AI powered. So like that, anybody, it's a very simple, very easy. I'll tell you the definition of what is Power BI also. What Microsoft says. What Microsoft says actually. So according to the Microsoft, what is Power BI actually, guys? According to the Microsoft, Power BI is going to be nothing but, I'm just writing the same definition. You can find it in the Power BI website also, we can find it off. So Power BI is which is going to be, according to Microsoft, I'm talking about. What is the definition of Power BI? What is Power BI if I talk about that? No need to by heart anything, guys. So what is Power BI? Let us say that. Okay. So according to the Microsoft, so Power BI is going to be nothing but what we can say that Power BI is a unified, and which is going to be a scalable. The term scalable. So something, what is meaning of, first of all, what is the terminology called as an scalable? Unified means, you know that actually, guys. Unified means it is going to be some collection of features actually. So a lot of features are there. You can develop the reports. We can share the reports. It is an unified solution, they say that. Then what is scalable actually? Scalable means nothing but as the data increases, as for example, as the data increases, according to that, you can also increases your resources. That's why we call it as a scalable solution. That means it is going to fit for a small application as well as a medium application, or which is going to be a huge applications also we can work. So data is a small data, or a data is a medium size, or a data is a large size. According to that, it is scalable. It is a scalable platform, or what we can say that it is a scalable platform for which is going to be a self-service. Self-service means which is for our individual usage, or it can be either for an enterprise usage. Power BI is a unified or a scalable platform for self-service, the self-service, and enterprise, which is going to be the business intelligence. This is going to be what the, according to the Microsoft, it is going to be. If you want, you can find the definition. Maybe some words may be different. I'm just telling in a different way. It may be a platform or a solution. It may be uses. And it also says that what we can do it actually, guys. Connect to, almost all the same definition. Connect to. You can connect to any kind of a data. You can connect to any kind of a data. You can work with a text files. You can work with database, JSON files, XML files, almost all any type of sources. Connect to, and you can also visualize any data. You can connect and you can visualize any data. And not only you can visualize the data actually, guys, and you can seamlessly, without having any effort. You know what is meaning of a seamlessly? Seamlessly means without any effect, without having much effort. What we can do is seamlessly it is going to be infuse. Infuse means we can integrate them, integrate that particular visuals into the apps you use in your daily life, or you use daily. You use in our daily life actually. So every day, whatever you are using the apps, almost all in any apps, we can integrate with that actually. Infuse that particular visuals into the apps which you are going to use, which your apps use daily. Right. You use daily actually. This is the definition of Power BI. I'll show you. If you just want to go to the Power BI, you can ask the Microsoft, what is Power BI? So just go for Power BI actually, guys. Microsoft Power BI. Microsoft Power BI. I'll tell you, don't download it actually. I downloaded this one only, guys. Microsoft Power BI desktop. I'll tell you what are the other things we have to download. So see here, what is Power BI actually, guys? So if you can see that, as I told you, a Power BI is a unified and a scalable platform for self-service and enterprise business intelligence. Connect to and visualize any data and seamlessly infuse the visuals into the apps you use every day. That's it. So that is what the definition is also going to be, use every day or daily, whatever you can say that. I said every day, daily, I said every day. That's it. So why it is a unified platform? Because it is giving all the tools that are going to be required. You can design the reports, you can share the reports, you can deploy the reports. It's a unified solution and scalable platform. So it works with any kind of an data, small data, medium size, large size, anything it can works. You can use it for self-service. That means for your own purpose also we can use, or either to share with the enterprise business intelligence also what we can use. You can connect and visualize any data. And not only that, those visuals can be easily integrated, or you can infuse those particular visuals into the apps you are going to use every day. That is what the definition of Power BI. But anyhow, before going for Power BI, so today we are going to be discussing about how to work with, which is going to be, because a database knowledge is required actually, guys. So if you guys or anybody, some of the people are already having the idea, guys. But once again, for 1 week, guys, not more than that, just for a 1 week, we are going to be gets working with them actually. Okay. So that is going to be, we are going to be gets working with the SQL Server database. Why specifically SQL Server also? You are aware about that, because Power BI is a Microsoft product, guys. That's why we are also going to be using a Microsoft database, a Microsoft supported database. So don't try to think more about the database, guys. Don't think more about the database. If you have any problem, nowadays database is a common skill actually, guys. Everybody has to know at least the basic knowledge of SQL. It's a common to everybody. Whether you are a computer science, whether you are in whether you're non-computer science, everybody, because nowadays anywhere you go, compulsory there is a database. Do you want to learn Java? Yes, some part of SQL is required. It's not that completely without doing that you cannot survive it. You can survive it. At least some basic knowledge is required. So do you want to work with .NET, or do you want to work with Java, or you want to work with any kind of an application? Some minimum knowledge of some database system is required actually, guys. Okay. So anyhow, there are so many databases are there, which are specifically what we call it as relational databases. So just to get some idea, because it is all about data only, guys. So whenever it is all about the data, at least some basic knowledge of SQL, some basics is required. If you want to really learn SQL completely, at least it is going to take somewhere around 2 months. It will take it somewhere around 2 months, because there will completely teach or train a complete database management. But here it is not that much required. Hardly maybe 1 week. I'm not saying that exactly 1 week. It may be somewhere around 1 week to maybe somewhere 8 days, 9 days, or 7 days. Hardly it is going to be taken. Not more than that actually. So we'll spend some time, guys, who are already having the idea about SQL Server. Please, just like a refreshment for you. Okay. So don't think that it is like a boring classes, and don't think that this is a SQL Server class actually, guys. It's a Power BI session actually. Just before starting with the Power BI, some basic knowledge of. Later also I can teach you. Immediately it is not required actually. Because mainly whenever we work with the Power BI, we are having something called as, which is going to be some kind of a model is there actually, guys. In this model, we are going to create some kind of a relationships. We are going to create it actually. We have to create some kind of a relationships. And already I told you also, some of the terminologies are going to be which we use as part of our database terminologies. Don't worry about that. I'll tell you what is this Power Query. Even once again, just for a small timing to make you understand that. We have an option called as something called as merge queries are there actually, guys. We are having something called as merge queries actually. So while we are doing this merge queries, we are going to be having something called as, we are going to be using something what we are going to call it as, can you see? There is some kind of an joins concept is there. Left outer join, right outer join, full outer join. What is inner joins? Okay. These are all part of your database concepts only, guys. Nowadays, this has been came outside the database. Now they are using everywhere, even in SQL and non-SQL also they are using it. It's one of the common feature actually, guys. It's a generalized common concept. We have to learn it actually. I need not to explain only in terms of a database. Even by taking two Excel sheets also I can explain it. Or by taking two flat files also I can explain it. But it is in database knowledge, it is very easy to understand because it has been derived from database concepts only. That is the reason we are going to be learning a little bit about the concepts of SQL actually, guys. Okay. Anyhow, I'll share you the software. You don't really worry to work on that application also. Later we can see, later you can work with that particular data sets later. I can share you the software and all these things later actually. Okay. Now, just let me introduce something about the SQL Server, guys. Just a small example. So just a small point of discussions we want to discuss it actually. So these are all what we are going to call it as a DBMS actually, guys. DBMS stands for which is going to be nothing but a database management system. So DBMS is going to be nothing but a subject, or we can say it is a concept which deals with management of data. It's a database management system. We're not starting from scratch actually, guys. Like what is data, what is information, why should I store it? I'm not starting from that particular basic level actually, guys. Directly I'm starting with DBMS, a database management system actually, guys. What is a database management system? A database management system is nothing but, guys, a subject or a concept which deals with management of data. So it is nothing but management of data. Simply, we can also call it as data management. What do you mean to say data management actually, guys? The skills that are required to store the data. Today, why you are storing the data actually, guys? Tomorrow, we are going to use the data. For what purpose we are going to use it? I may read the data. I may add some data. I may modify some data, or I may say some deleting of the data. All these are going to be comes under something what we are going to call it as the management of data. So whenever you have some data with you, how do you add some new data? How do you go for modification? How do you delete them? Or how do you read this data? All these are going to be comes under management of the data actually. They are called as management of data actually. So this is what basically a subject or a concept which is going to deals with management of a data actually. So to perform this DBMS, obviously we have to require a database system, guys. What is a database? A database is a software where we can do all these database management. All this is going to be all this management of data can be done in a database. A database is a software actually, guys. A database is a software. Don't think that it is used to store the data, guys. So many people says that database is just to a storage. No, you are not only just storing the data actually, guys. A software or a system, you can say that actually. A system which is used to manage the data actually, guys. Managing means I told you, no, you can store it, you can read it, you can add it, you can modify, you can delete all these things. We can do it actually. Now the main concept is what is meaning of a relational database? Very simple actually, guys. It's a relational database. What do you mean to say relational databases actually, guys? Relational databases, or simply we call it as an RDBMS, Relational Database Management System. A relational database is a database actually, guys. It's also a database only. Database, but which stores the data, simple guys, which stores the data in the format of tables. Which stores the data in the format of tables. So relational database is also a database. What is database? A database is a software or a system which is used to manage the data. Then what is a relational database? A database which stores the data in the format of tables. In the format of tables is nothing but what we are going to call it as a relational database. We all of you know what is a table mean to say, guys. A table is nothing but which is going to store the data in the format of rows and columns. Just now we have seen a table called as a cars. What is the year of the manufacturing? What is the model it belongs to? What is the price? What is the mileage, etc., etc. Columns and rows. 2011 model is going to be SE 3800, mileage 7852. 2012 a model called as an SEL, which is 21,995. Mileage is going to be 6,840 something, whatever it may be, guys. Like this, you can store any data, guys. Customers data, students data, products data, employees data, anything you can store it actually. So it's not only for storing. Today you store the data. Tomorrow you can add up some new data. We can modify, you can delete, anything you can do it actually, guys. Okay. So a relational database is nothing but the databases which stores the data in the format of tables are called as RDBMS. Now, the examples of RDBMS actually, guys, so many are there, but I'm telling some few databases like. So one of the most popular database is Oracle from Oracle Corporation. And from Microsoft, we are having a database called as an SQL Server. They are developed by different companies, guys. SQL Server was developed by Microsoft. Oracle is developed by the Oracle Corporation. We have a MySQL database is there. We are having a database called as an DB2 developed by IBM. MySQL is an open source database actually, guys. It is maintained by a community. It is not developed by a company, but it is developed by some community actually, guys. Nowadays, SQL came into almost every area actually, guys. Almost every area SQL has been came actually. Later we'll work on that. So Oracle, SQL Server, MySQL, DB2, if we talk about, so many databases are there. So we are going to use this a SQL Server database actually, guys. Now, okay, fine. There is a relational database, but how do you read the data? How do you add the data? How do you modify them? How do you delete the data? For that, a simple technique actually, guys. Look at this concept, guys. So this is the generally the diagrammatical representation of any RDBMS. It may be an Oracle, it may be a SQL Server, it may be a MySQL, it may be a DB2, whatever may be the database, guys, whatever the relational database is there. So whenever you want to manage the data, how do you manage the data? So I want to add some data, guys. How to add the data to a database, or how to modify the data, how to delete the data. So for that, there is some language is required actually, guys. So whenever the user want to interact with any relational database, we require a language called as SQL. SQL and SQL Server is different actually, guys. Please try to differentiate it. SQL Server or a SQL Server is a relational database, which is used to store the data in the format of tables. What is SQL stands for? SQL stands for, which is going to be a structured query language. So even I was an expert in SQL also actually, guys. SQL, PL SQL, T-SQL, whatever we call it as actually. But I don't go in depth about them. I was also an expert in SQL also. I can write some complicated queries and database concepts. Even if we have any database queries also, you can ask me. I can explain it. It is SQL stands for structured query language. It's a language actually, guys. Who developed this language? It was developed by the IBM Corporation, guys. Remember, SQL is developed by IBM. And IBM does not say that you can use the SQL. So what is SQL actually, guys? A structured query language, which is acting as an interface between the user and any relational database. User and any relational database. So whenever the user wants to connect to any relational database, and whenever they want any management of the data, they should be using a language called as an SQL. So don't confuse between SQL and SQL Server. SQL is a language which is used to manage the data in any relational database. The advantage is one advantage, guys. Using SQL, I not only work with SQL Server, even you can work with Oracle, you can work with MySQL, you can work with DB2, or you can work with Teradata, you can work with any relational database we can work. Almost all you work with any kind of a relational database, they are going to be using the same SQL language. So once if you learn SQL in your life for one time, once if you learn SQL for once in your life, one time it is you have to learn it actually. You can manage any relational databases. Let us say that today your company is using a SQL Server database. Just an example. Currently your company is using a SQL Server database. After you have been worked on 2 years and 3 years, then your company said that let us migrate the SQL Server to immediately to Oracle. Don't worry. You need not to worry about the database. Why? Because whether you work with the SQL Server, whether you work with Oracle, or whether you work with some other database, finally the language is going to be SQL. Finally, the language is going to be SQL, guys. I'll show you. I have multiple databases in my system. I have 3 databases in my system. I will have Oracle in my system. I have a SQL Server in my system, as well as I'm also having MySQL in my system. All the 3 relational databases will be there. You can work with any kind of a database, because for any relational database, the language is going to be SQL. Is a common language. So SQL was developed by IBM. SQL was developed by IBM, and it is not saying that only IBM databases can use. Any relational database, whether you work with Oracle developed Oracle database, or Microsoft developed a SQL Server, or an open source database called as an MySQL, or whether you want to use IBM database called as a DB2 or any database. Finally, the language is SQL. So SQL must be a common language, guys. For any relational database, you can work. So here also, guys, while you are learning some databases, you are not learning Oracle, you are not learning SQL Server. You are learning SQL. Stands for Structured Query Language. And I think you know that generally we are going to spell it as SQL. So this is going to be the name SQL actually, guys. Actually, initially, there is some small history is there. Initially, the name was Structured English Query Language. So guys, once again, I'm telling guys, it is not an SQL class. It is just a basics of SQL only. We are going to learn it actually, guys. You will find out, guys, how important it is going to be there. Without learning SQL, if you go, you will automatically, some points are going to be unconnected. Some points are going to be unconnected. You will have some doubts. But here, once if you clarify that and go there, then everything you can handle it actually. Structured English Query Language actually, guys. We call it as a Structured English Query Language, SEQUENL. Okay. So why the name Structured English Query Language? An English language, just very simple, guys. What is SQL, guys? English language arranged in a structured manner. So in a proper English structure actually, guys. English structure. So an English language arranged in a structured manner for query processing is nothing but what we can call it as SQL. What is the basic requirements of SQL actually, guys? To learn SQL, what is the basic requirements? Only and only English is sufficient. You don't require any knowledge of any other programming languages. No programming language is required actually, guys. No programming languages. If you have some C programming, a little bit idea like why, what is meaning of a function, to understand that is going to be required. Otherwise, it is not at all required at all. So the only prerequisite I say that to learn SQL is going to be English language. Okay. So anyhow, just let me tell you some few points. One of the first point is going to be, guys, it is going to be a non-procedural language. It is a non-procedural language actually, guys. So I know that, guys, what is an importance of SQL? Still now, even some MNC, even some companies, I generally go to this corporate trainings actually, guys. Recently, I done a training in Deloitte. So there for 3 days, we have taught the SQL concepts actually, guys. DBMS and SQL concept for 3 days. Actually, the main training is for data engineering. It's an including Power BI, even Spark and big data systems, and we have Python and we have the SQL. So these are all the whatever the basic fundamentals they have to be learning actually. I given a training for 12 days in Deloitte recently. So where we have been taught the SQL concepts for 3 days. 3 days means it is not for 1 hour per day actually, guys. It is from morning 9 o'clock to evening, which is going to be 6 or 6. Sometimes even it is up to 6:30 also. That means almost all 8 hours a day for 3 days, almost all for two, mostly for almost all 3 days we have been taken the particular training actually. That means which is almost all somewhere around some 24 hours of training we have been given for them. See the importance. They didn't say that skill they will learn by themselves actually. The importance is there actually. Why? Because in Spark they will use as the SQL actually. Spark SQL is there. They are part of data engineering, data analytics. I have been given the training. Almost all 1.5 day for Power BI training. 1.5 hour means 12 hours training it was there. Like that. Big data systems like Hadoop, Hive, etc. That is for another 2 days. Spark is for 3 days. Like that, we have been given some 12 days of training we have been given for that actually. So there each and every basic concepts also we have to teach it actually. So corporate level, imagine how much there are expectation is there. If you want, I'll show you the training. Still the module is accessible to me. Still that particular module is accessible to me. Still they didn't remove the access. Recently only I have been got covered. Recently only I have been got done it actually. So it is going to be Deloitte AI Academy. It's currently I have to log in. Maybe they removed the permission for me. Maybe because training is completed. I don't know. I have to use some username and password when I have to connect it. It's a Deloitte AI Academy actually. Recently I have been worked and I have been taken the training. The schedule and all these things is there. I'll just show you like how important the SQL concept is there. Yes, it is a non-procedural language actually, guys. What do you mean to say non-procedural language? What do you mean to say non-procedural language? You know that in real applications, programming languages are of two types, procedural and non-procedural. Procedural and non-procedural. Example of procedural language is C language. The best example of procedural language is C language. We know that. How do you write it actually, guys? How do you write it actually? So we write a main program. After that, we have to write some already declarations, like a small procedure. So there is some kind of a procedure will be there. We have to follow the procedure. But here, the procedure is going to be not required actually, guys. You don't really require any such kind of a procedures. Everything is going to be only done in a single statement only. We have to work with them. It is a single statement actually, guys. Nowadays, these kind of a non-procedural languages or scripting languages are becoming popular. Even Python is also like a scripting language, guys. We don't write any Python program with a main method. We don't have any main method. C, C++, Java, .NET, those will write it with the main methods. Here, everything is a single statement. It's a scripting languages. Only with a single line statement only we do it actually. There is no starting point. There is no entry point. We don't have it actually, guys. It is a non-procedural language. So SQL is a non-procedural language. You need not to write any program, just a statement to read the data, a single statement to write the data, a single statement to modify the data. Just only syntaxes will be there. Just you have to by heart the syntax. Don't by heart it. You have to practice the syntaxes. I'll tell you like SQL categorization is there. We don't go into all the categorizations. I'll just tell you like what topics we have it. If you want to explore, you can explore the other things what we have to explore it actually. I'll tell you some few points, some few or 4 or 5 different points. I'll explain you. Remaining, you can explore them and you can try with them. I'll tell you the resources also from where you have to learn it actually. So SQL is a purely a non-procedural language, guys, where we'll write only and only single statement at a time. We are going to write it actually. Okay. And one more thing, it's not a case sensitive language. It is not a case sensitive language actually, guys. So while you are writing the C programs, C++, Java, one of the main problem we used to face it actually. They are case sensitive. That means if they define capital case, you have to write capital case. If they define lowercase, you have to write lowercase. Even Python is also a case sensitive language. But here it is not like that. You can write SQL with any case, you can write it. No, there is nothing dependency on the case. Whether you write uppercase, lowercase, mixed case, any case you write it, the queries will execute, guys. Just I'm telling some of the properties. A non-procedural language, only single statement at a time we are going to write it. And it is not a case sensitive language actually. That is some properties of SQL. So once again, SQL is a language which was developed by IBM Corporation, which which is used to manage any relational database. Any relational database. Do you want to manage Oracle? Use SQL. Do you want to manage SQL Server? Use SQL. Do you want to manage MySQL? Use SQL. Do you want to manage DB2? Use SQL. Not only that, even there are so many other applications also using SQL actually. Spark is using SQL. Hive is using SQL. Okay, Hive is a Hive uses some kind of an Hive query language. You don't want to. We don't want to discuss with me, guys. That we don't want to discuss that related to that. Hive is nothing but a big data framework actually, where we are going to query the data from big data systems by using Hive query language, which we call it as HQL. They will call it as. It is an out of a discussion, right? So these are the some of the properties of SQL, guys. But anyhow, I am going to work with the SQL Server database. We are going to work with the SQL Server database, what we are going to be using. Yes, Rahul, nothing difference is there. MySQL was developed by, it is maintained by the community. It is an open source. It's not SQL, it is SQL Server. Okay, SQL Server is a Microsoft. Oracle is an Oracle database. So different companies developed it actually. Okay, but finally, all of them are going to be uses the same language called as an SQL. If you want, you can work with that. Slightly, their architectural wise, there may be different. Architectural wise, there may be different. But finally, all of them, once you know SQL Server, once if you learn SQL Server with the same knowledge, we can also handle the Oracle database. Okay. So if you want, just I'll show you later. Right now, it is not required. But my system, I'm having Oracle with me. I'm having MySQL with me. Almost all, I have all kinds of databases. So if you want to work with MySQL, I'll work with the MySQL database. There is a MongoDB database. It's a NoSQL database. Even I'm having Oracle database is there. Right now, SQL Server was not there in my system, guys. Why SQL Server is not there? Why? Because I uninstall it. Why? Because I want to show you the installation of Microsoft SQL Server. That is the reason why I have been uninstalled it. It was there, but I uninstalled it because I want to show the installation procedure with you for your training purpose. I'll show you with that. I'll make you install it actually, guys. A very lightweight version only will install it actually. Next class, I'll do the installation, guys. Anyhow, I'll share you the software also. But anyhow, let me tell you, we are going to install the latest version of the SQL Server, guys, which is going to be SQL Server, Microsoft SQL Server 2022. This is the version what we are going to be installing, guys. There are so many versions are there. Generally, databases are heavily loaded actually. So they will take a lot of resources from your system. That's why we'll use a very lightweight version actually, guys. They are called as Express editions, what we are going to call it as. They are called as Express edition, a very lightweighted actually, guys, a very lightweight. They don't provide you like an enterprise level features. We are only for learning procedure, no? So we'll use a very lightweight version, which is going to be what I'm going to call it as Express edition. Okay. So don't try to download anything, guys. Don't try to download anything. I'll share the software. Okay. Power BI software, you can download it, guys. I just shown you now Power BI software, but don't download it now. I'll show you that application. There are different products are there. Power BI desktop, you have to download this actually, guys. Okay, but as of now, don't download anything. Okay, I am going to be using, which is going to be Microsoft, which is going to be SQL Server. Microsoft SQL Server 2022. It is an Express edition. We have to download it. Okay. Anyhow, don't download any softwares, guys, because maybe you guys may not be aware about what you are downloading. That's why what I am going to do is I'll share the software from my side. You can just download that particular software. I already uploaded to the drive, my Google Drive. I'll share you the link. You can just download it actually, guys. So you can see there, try SQL Server on premises or on the cloud. SQL Server on Azure is a cloud-based actually. Do you want to install on your premises? It is SQL Server 2022. So don't download it actually, guys. We have a developer edition is there. We have an Express edition is there. Download the Express. I'm not asking to download. If you are aware about that, download it, guys. Otherwise, don't worry. I'll share you the link. I'll share you the software with you from my Google Drive, and you can download it actually. It is a full featured actually. But this is going to be a little bit what we can say that heavily loaded actually. That's why what we do is SQL Server 2022 Express is a free edition of SQL Server, ideal for development and production for desktop, web, and small server application. Very lightweighted actually. If you want to go for a little bit real applications, if you want to go for, then you can go for a developer editions. Basically for non-production environments, but for production environments, we are going to use enterprise editions and all these things we use this. So don't go for, they are heavily loaded. If you are interested, you can download. If you are aware about that, download it actually, guys. It is for 2022, the latest version of SQL Server. Okay, so this is going to be about this self. So don't download anything, guys. Okay, so you can see SQL Server. So these are the previous versions what we have it actually, guys. SQL Server 2022, SQL Server 2019, SQL Server BI version is also there, guys. Specifically for BI, this is a separate version is going to be there actually. Okay, so can you see these are all Power BI report servers, all these things we are going to be having it actually. So download the 2022. Even if you don't download it also, don't worry. Why? Because I'm going to share you the software. So I'll share you that particular software already uploaded to my drive. So only thing is I have to just share it actually, guys. This is my Power BI software, my drive. I'll share you the link. Already I have uploaded. Just only thing is I have to just share the link with you. So once if you share it, you can download it. In the next class, I'll show you the installation procedure, guys. Okay, there are some softwares are required. I'll tell you what are the softwares you have to install it. Two softwares are required to work with SQL Server. One is SQL Server Database Server. One is going to be a management tools actually, guys. What is the Management Studio? I'll tell you that SQL Server Management Studio. So with these two tools, we'll install it and we'll connect to the SQL Server and we'll work for almost all 1 week, guys. 1 week we'll work on that and then we'll move to the Power BI concepts. Okay. So that's it for the today's class, guys. Hope all of you have been got some points what I'm talking about that. If you have any questions, guys, I can spare some around 5-10 minutes of time if you have any questions. Anyone, guys, if you have any questions? Anyone, guys, if you have any questions, feel free to discuss with me, guys.
Sir, I have one question.
Yes, Sumit. Yeah, go ahead.
Sir, how long the course will take?
45 days. 45 to 50 days it will take it.
Okay, it's Monday because I have joined today only. It's okay. Monday to Friday, right?
Monday to Saturday. Monday to Saturday. Monday to Saturday. Because anyhow we are losing 1 week for this SQL Server, right? So almost all it is going to be 40 to 45 days is sufficient. Not beyond that, not more than that.
Okay. So with this course, we should be able to apply for what kind of profiles in company?
Actually, if you are expertise only in Power BI, you can apply only for Power BI developer.
Power BI developer, not Power as a data engineer or something.
Oh no, data engineer is not Power BI, no. So in data engineering, Power BI is going to be one of the skill you require. But along with that, you have to learn ETLs. That is other things also we have to learn. In data science or data analyst or data engineering, Power BI is going to be one of the common skill that is going to be required. It's one of the skill what you require. Okay. If you explore more about a data visualization, you have a data visualization expert skills are there. Some kind of a jobs called as in data visualization skills. So it's not only with working with Power BI, you have to be knowing about the other frameworks and all these things also we have to require it actually.
Okay. Second question I want to know. See, usually this is my office timing. So I can watch it on my phone and then go and
yes,
you will be sharing the videos.
Videos also will be there. Yes, absolutely. Every day-to-day videos will be there. You can just go through the videos but must and should for the next class, the previous class is important.
Okay.
It's not scripting based.
I'll be watching on my phone, but once I go home, I can rewatch it and you'll be sharing the videos same day, right?
Yeah, same day. Maximum same day it will be done. Or maybe in the next day morning. Why? Because it is already 6 o'clock, right? 6 to 7 is the class timing. That too, what will happen here is the video will be processed by the Zoom and we have to get the video because it is on the cloud actually. So it may take sometimes 1 hour, 2 hours, depending on the server busy. So if it is sometimes if it is late, next day morning, it will be loaded or maximum by the end of the day, it will be loaded actually. Okay, fine.
Sir, I have a question.
Yes, yeah, Naveen.
How far it is useful for a business analyst role?
Can you repeat it? How far?
It is useful for a business analyst role. I heard it really plays a good.
Obviously, see, what is business analyst, what is data analyst? They have to analyze the data in a format of visual format only. So it's a visual skill is required. Nowadays, it's not business analyst. Everybody, data analyst, business analyst, data science people, even actually for data engineering people, it is not required. Basically, data engineering people, it's not required. But still, they have to have some basic visualization skills that is going to be required. Mostly is, obviously. Basically, who is going to be more, it's going to be using is, this is going to be the business analyst requires, data analyst require, data science people require, report developers, obviously report developers are obviously requires about that.
Yeah. And one more silly question. I already have a SQL server in my laptop.
Oh, if you have it, you can work with it. No worries.
I got an update also, so I don't need to uninstall it, right?
No need to uninstall it. If it is, see guys, if anybody is already having SQL Server, you can please use that particular version. So no need to no need to uninstall it actually. I think you are using 2019 maybe, right? I mean, 2019 or it does not matter. 2019, 2022 does not matter. I'm using a latest version only. So it's fine. Even 2019 is also fine. You can go ahead.
Sure.
Okay, fine. Right.
Yeah, Vamsi, I want to ask one more question.
Yeah, Sumit, go ahead.
See, what is the point? Like, why should we choose Power BI over Tableau? And see, one reason what I felt was Tableau was a little expensive. Okay?
That's it. That's it. Okay. And one more thing is,
the
go ahead.
Cost of training, which I found was expensive. So that was the reason I chose Power BI. But what do you think from industry point of view?
It's not the cost of training. Why? Because see, this is going to be as an maybe I don't know. So actually, the cost compare with the other training institute. So this is going to be little bit lower cost. Why? Because this Power BI can be explained by anybody. So unless and until they have much skills, they can't train that particular Tableau. Power BI is not like that. Today you have been seeing that without having any knowledge also we are. It's big. It's a very easy whenever we work with the Power BI. So we have a lot of people chosen Power BI. Less people are going to be chosen for Tableau. So don't compare with the cost of the training, but cost of the product at the same time, cost of the product is also going to be compared with this. It is going to be higher coster actually. So enterprises at multinational companies may use as a Tableau, but medium segment and the lower segment, those companies are going to be using the Power BI. Okay. Fine.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Right. Any more questions, guys? We have.
Sir, is there any difference between Power BI or Advanced Power BI? Is it?
No Advanced Power BI. So everything we are going to be learning about the higher level. So maybe at an architect level, you may be the Advanced Power BI, but mostly here as a Power BI developer. So designing of reports, or that is what we call the report authoring, which is going to be deployment, as well as which is going to be the report sharings. Everything we are going to be gets working as part of that. Maybe some people call that as an Advanced Power BI, but that is included as part of our course curriculum.
Okay, and DAX query is also included.
Yes, DAX is obviously. Actually, see, I'll tell you one thing. They will see if you. I've seen them. I have seen so many trainings. First, they will say that DAX is very important. DAX is very important. DAX is very important. I was expert in DAX. I was expert in DAX. Finally, after completing of DAX, what they will tell you to, don't use DAX unnecessary. That is a statement what they will say it actually. So DAXes there is nothing. They will highlight it actually. That's it. Nothing complication is there. DAX is going to be one part of your whatever that particular Power BI what it is providing actually. It's just like a functions only. A little bit advanced level function. That's it. That's what I can say.
No, there are so many keywords on the online.
Yes,
so
yes.
Like advanced DAX or DAX like.
They'll call it as advanced DAX function. They will call it as actually. So all functions, whatever the functions we have in the DAX, we'll learn all the things.
Thank you.
Okay, fine.
Thank you.
Right. Any more questions, guys? Right. So thank you all of you guys. See you tomorrow at the same time and the same link, guys. So tomorrow, just 15 minutes introduction that we'll do the installation procedure. But once again, guys, if you already have the SQL Server, don't uninstall it. So leave it as it is, and you can work with the existing SQL Server.
Thank you.
Yes, Naveen. Yeah,
that's
okay. Yeah, fine. Okay. Thank you all of you guys, and see you tomorrow, guys. Thank you all of you.
Thank you.